Remember, the Steelers didn't miss Le'Veon Bell, but probably wish Big Ben hadn't shown up. After the quarterback turned the ball over 5 times and blew a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter to tie the Browns. But they weren't the only team with high expectations that struggled yesterday, with Dak Prescott getting sacked 6 times and the Cowboys offense putting up just 8 points in an ugly loss to the Panthers. All right, we got 2 historic franchises, one with a great quarterback that's supposed to be a legend, maybe a Hall of Famer, other with a young guy. I'm more concerned with Ben Roethlisberger. 5 turnovers, picking up right where he left off last year, just mistake-ridden. And we heard all this hype about Big Ben's in the best shape of his life. And, you know, he needs some therapy because I think it's between his ears right now. Who cares about him being in shape? Does he know where to go with the football? I don't think so. And I look at that Pittsburgh team, and Mike Tomlin's going to justifiably take some heat. But I'm starting to believe Big Ben is more of a problem in Pittsburgh than anybody.
No, I'm not going there. Look, if you look at Dak Prescott and you look at this Dallas Cowboys roster and construction, not enough talent on the perimeter to really help out that running game and to help out Dak Prescott in his second year. So with Ben Roethlisberger, I just think mentally as a coach, vet rules. Like, you know what? He's going to return to the mean, which is he's going to return to being good, if not great. But you look at Dak Prescott, there's not enough on the resume where you can really, truly believe that greatness is in front of him. He hit the ground running. I get it. When Romo got hurt in that preseason and they didn't alter the offense and he had the strong offensive line and Travis Frederick and others were all playing at a top level, of course, Ezekiel was able to see the safety out the box and they were able to have play-action pass. You had Dez Bryant, Jason Witten, all that worked. But now, no Dez, no Witten, no Frederick. Offensive line's not the same, shifting guys in different positions, and no one on the outside to push that safety back. I think that Dak Prescott, he's going to look at the next year or so and realize he is now in the NFL.
Yeah, you know, I look at it and, you know, listen, when Ben in September, especially on the road since 2015, 27 touchdowns, 26 interceptions. So on the road, especially in September, they don't start fast. They haven't played well the last several years. I think, listen, you got Juju. You got arguably the best other receiver in the National Football League in AB, all right? You got a nice running game. The defense is coming around. I don't have a real problem with Ben. I know Ben needs to take care of the football. He has to be smarter with the football. At the end of the day, you look at Dak. And the guy, you got to think, okay, when you said the outside weapons for the Dallas Cowboys, who are they?
Suspect.
Thompson, Hearns, Williams, Beasley. Defense coordinator going to see that. They're going to say, I'm putting all my 11 guys in the box.
Right.
All 11 guys are going to be in the box. Prescott, you have to beat us on a consistent basis. I'm more concerned about that offense than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I don't put much stock in the first game of the season. Come on, it was raining out there. They went against a pretty good Cleveland defense, too. Let's not discount that. A couple of those balls bounced off guys' hands, yada, yada, yada. I think they're going to be okay. It's one of the most successful franchises for a reason. They're going to get it together, and they're going to figure this out. They got too much talent not to. Looking at the other side, Dak Prescott, I'm telling you right now, first of all, we have never seen him play at what he's capable of doing because he had all those weapons. This is when adversity is striking. We all went through it as players. It's going to happen sooner or later. It's happening for him right now. He no longer has those other guys to lean on. We're going to see what he's made of this year. This is a big year for him contract-wise. You guys know about he was drafted after the 4th round. He's playing for a contract this year. I'm excited to see what he can do this year, but I don't know. I don't know what to expect, I guess, but I'm way more concerned about him.
I just want to introduce some facts into this conversation, and I think everyone's trying to avoid.
Facts.
Cleveland hasn't won a football game since Tony was in the league. So one team is playing the Cleveland Browns.
They won one. They won one. Don't do that.
Cleveland
Don't
Browns.
do that.
When was that? 96, 97? So the Cleveland Browns. And one guy is supposed to be a legend headed to the Hall of Fame, and the expectations are they're supposed to compete for a Super Bowl. And we saw Big Ben last year with this kind of trash performance on the road with the turnovers, blaming coaches, and I'm just doing what they told me on the side. Remember the interception close to the goal line that cost him the game?
Oh, yeah.
Big Ben has been, I'm thinking about retiring. Oh, no, I'm mad that they drafted Mason Rudolph. Big Ben, to me, is a lot of the immaturity, and my expectations for Big Ben are just higher than for Dak Prescott. So when I start talking about concern, and you have Antonio Brown, you have Juju, you have James Conner filling in and doing a nice job. You have an offensive line that's all in and committed. You have all that continuity, and you come out against the Cleveland Browns with 5 turnovers, and I'm supposed to be, as y'all said, Dak's working with damn near me out there, wide receiver, and I'm concerned about Big Ben. He's got all the tools.
Yeah, but you're stating the obvious, and that's not profound to sit there and say, you know what? Expectations are different for Roethlisberger than they are with Dak Prescott. We all get that. But the reality is, if you look at Ben Roethlisberger, he has assets around him that could pick him up, even if he struggles, which, going to your point, last year he struggled. Remember that Jacksonville game? 5 interceptions. And this is the same year where they win 12 ball games with Big Ben starting. And it's the same year where they go into the playoffs, and Big Ben had a great game, but they still lost that game because neither defense could really show up. The point of it is he's picked himself up from this position before. Show me on record when Dak Prescott has.
And you go back, and I'm listening to what Tony, first game of the year. And go back to the last several years for the Pittsburgh Steelers early in the season. They just haven't played well. They're not on stride yet. And at the end of the day, I want to see Ben take care of the football. Everybody wants to see Ben take care of the football. But at the end of the day, you think, okay, Prescott, what does he have to work with? Great quarterbacks make great plays. And we have seen Ben make great plays in the past. We know it's in him. We know that he can accomplish great things there. But then you got to say, okay, can Dak be that guy? Can he make these receivers better? We know Ben can make some plays.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
He's going to make big-time plays. My question is, can Prescott be that guy to make his offense better without the running game?
Yeah, I just don't see it happening. But look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're a reality television show. They're so emotional all the time. Mike Tomlin's emotional. You got people saying, I want to retire. You got people, AB, you got Le'Veon Bell tweeting with the emoji and all that stuff. It's how it always is with this team. But in the end, reality television sells, especially in America.
They're going to
get it right.
That's not how the Pittsburgh Steelers operate.
Okay, now we're talking about. Put that jersey back on. Get him, brother.
They're not emotional. They're not emotional.
Yes, he wore that jersey. Talk about it.
Let's just say this. It's one of the best ran organizations in the National Football League for a reason. They have won. They've only had 3 head coaches for a reason.
Stability.
All right? It's stability. It's doing things the right way. Okay, social media. These guys are different. All right, you go in that locker room, you know these guys are not like we were when we played. So they understand. Listen, that little phone, those emojis and all that, those guys get it. Mm-hmm. Guys get over emotional. They drafted guys when I was there. I didn't get them. I didn't say, hey, this guy's going to take my spot. Ben can't worry about who they draft. He has to worry about his job. All the players have to worry about their job. AP, even though he's done silly things in the past with his emojis and his little things on social media, he still shows up. He's a pro's pro. He wants to be great. He is great. Okay, Le'Veon Bell, he's not going to be there this year. He's not going to be. He's going to be there probably week 10 after week 10.
Yeah.
So he can get his money and he can get his accrued season.
Right.
So he can go somewhere else. But at the end of the day, the Pittsburgh Steelers will win, and Mike Tomlin's going to have a good product on the field.
Yeah, I agree with all those points except the whole. Back in my day, we were different than these guys today in the social media. All it is exposure. Like from my era, 97 to 06, 07. It was some knuckleheads on that team. It was some knuckleheads on the field. It was knuckleheads. And all it is, social media is just exposing what the reality is. So the reality is still the same, all around the world, same song. But now we're in the point where we're starting to record that.
I just feel like y'all missing the whole point. And to me, the biggest knucklehead in that locker room might be Ben Roethlisberger. He cleaned up his off-the-field deal that he had, with women.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if he's cleaned it up inside the locker room and with how he conducts himself with his team. Again, when I look at the whining about drafting Mason Rudolph, I'm thinking about retiring and all that stuff, this reality show, he's the diva of the reality show. And again, we keep pointing at AB with the Facebook Live. We want to point at Le'Veon. He's in a contract holdout. We want to point at Tomlin. He's the head coach. And Big Ben is my favorite football player. He played in the MAC. He plays like John Elway, my favorite player of all time. He might be the problem. Coming up, Deshaun Watson had a rough Sunday in Foxborough. Is he still the young